So we've got a lot of new subscribers to the channel, so we figured we'd do a little bit of a video, kind of an overview of our fleet. Behind me is the star of the show, the reason the channel is named Trailmater Off-Road. This is my OG recovery rig. This started out life as an 82 Chevy pickup, which it mostly is. So it is a 1-ton truck, true 1-ton. Came with a Dana 60. I think originally it had the 350 in it, but when I got it, it had a 454 in it. So it still has a 454. 4-speed standard, SM 465. It just has a 205. This truck does not have a doubler. So this is stock Chevy drivetrain. Engine, transmission, transfer case, front axle, stock Chevy. It's got a 2001 Dodge Dually rear axle, Dana 80. We've done a lot of modifications to this. Basically, I put fenders on it just to have somewhere to put my business name. And we haven't changed the stickers. This is still back when it was Moab Motorsports. We need to get those changed and get it over to Trailmater Offroad Recovery. But the faded stickers just look cool. Like it just brings it all together, right? Makes it look right. Anyway, inside it's all pretty stock Chevy. We got the Holley dash for the Holley fuel injection. So now we have an actual functional GPS speedometer, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's weird having a speedometer.
This truck's never really had one, so that's kind of cool. This is a tow truck that has evolved over the years. This is literally just, I had an idea, I tried something, and then I tried this and I tried that and I tried this. Like the pole design has changed over the years. It started out back here. It got moved forward. It got moved forward. It got moved forward. It honestly should be more forward. Would keep the front end down a little bit more. But we'd have to change the whole truck, which we're probably going to do here soon. This truck is getting updated, so I need people to understand this truck has gotten to be what it is through evolving. We've tried stuff, a lot of it's worked, a lot of it didn't, so then we changed to other stuff. We've tried a lot of different things that didn't work. Suspension, shocks, traction bars, frame stiffeners, frame repairs. The cage, the way the exo cage is actually structural to the truck. It holds it all together. We actually had a job that we were doing with that big camper up by Slick Rock, by the campground.
Yeah.
That big toy hauler that slid off. I had the sand anchor and was pulling and lifting and pulling with the back, and I actually separated the truck right here. Like it pulled that roll bar apart and was like opened up like an inch or two. Yeah. So this is actually structural. This has got 6 winches on it of all different makes and models. It's got Ramsey, Warren, mile marker, Smitty built, everything. Every winch that they made that was laying around the shop when I built it is what got thrown on it. We've got all our tools set up there. We've got onboard air. This has a welder on it. We run the Premier Power Welder setup. So that's the control box. So that's how you turn it on. You've got your throttle control here. You've got all that. And then of course, I'm gonna pop the hood here. So then this is the alternator that is part of the welding system. So that operates all that. Yeah. We've got all our fluid storage under the hood here. We've got ATF here. We've got engine oil, antifreeze, brake fluid, 90 weight, more antifreeze. We've got our one battery here and another battery back there.
What engine? What fuel system?
That is a 454. That is a big block Chevy. And we've got the Holley Sniper 2 EFI on here. Full controller. It's got the Hyperspark distributor, controller, all built-in conglomeration there. This is the distribution system for the Holley. Super clean setup. Like this cleaned up a lot of wiring on this truck doing this. It has a functional heater.
Yeah, that little fan there, she does something.
It blows, but by not having doors and windows and anything, it doesn't work great. But yeah, and so we've got like, this has a 205 transfer case in it, so we have the twin stick option, so we can run that's how we do the front digs. We can operate the front drive line or the rear drive line independently of each other. Almost every one of my vehicles has that option. So I know we've got our switch panel here that, you know, controls our winches and our lights. We've got a CB radio we've never used. We've got cup holders. We've got our hose reel that we still need to put a new hose on. We'll get around to that.
Yeah.
Fire extinguishers, we carry fire extinguishers on every one of our rigs, and at least 2 fire extinguishers on every rig.
So when you got a fire, you got a problem.
Yeah, I'm pretty serious about making sure that there's fire extinguishers, because I've had a few fires. Oh! Fire! 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 It's not bad. Yep. Yeah, I just wasted your sweet tea. It was yours. Nobody wasted fire extinguisher. I appreciate it. I put a few fires out with iced teas, and I'd rather put it out with fire extinguisher. And like I said, this has got the Alcan leaf springs front and rear. A lot of people ask why we don't go to coil suspension or link suspension or stuff like that. I don't like the way it handles, like with a load on it. For side hill stability and carrying something, this truck is unmatched. Whee! But like when you get on a side hill with Mini,
it's not the same as this one.
It gets a little wild, but that's also why we have the duals. So we made this truck really wide, which really helps with carrying a rig out, but it does hamper you in a lot of situations when you're trying to get in somewhere that's tight, which is where Mini really shines, because it is a smaller, lighter, nimbler rig. It's really hard. I mean, maybe with the new Bilstein shocks on Mini, yeah, Mini does ride better than this. But for a leaf spring truck, this thing rides amazing. What we've got in the line locks, we've got front and rear line locks, so we can we use them as parking brakes. We're about to set Mini up that way. We're gonna set the rollback up that way. We're gonna kind of, because that's just the way. You just push the brake pedal and you close those valves, and it holds the brake pressure on the tires. And then you have 4-wheel braking when you're winching or when you're welding or doing stuff like that. Because that's the one problem is, when you're welding, you do have to have the engine running. So if your park brake doesn't work, unless you're on a perfectly flat parking lot, it's not going to stay. But we used to have aluminum fenders, but we just converted these over earlier this year to these steel ones, where they're a lot more of a workbench table usable area, but also a fender.
It's been a good addition.
Yeah, these are home built beadlock dually wheels. I built these before everybody else decided to start building them and saying it was a thing. What was it, 5 years ago? About 5 years ago I built those. Very difficult to get a wheel or a tire on there. That's why we kind of run these tires till they're bald. But that's also why I run the BFGs, because they'll survive till they're bald. I've yet to ever have a flat on this truck. I have had this where I broke the transfer case adapter one time, and the transfer case was separated off of the transmission, and so I ran the side winches underneath around the cross member and back around the transfer case to each other, and then sucked the transfer case onto the transmission and held it there, and finished the job and drove 15 miles back to the trailer. So, but yeah, like I said, so the side winch is really handy for a lot of different things. Would have kind of been handy last night.
Coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Shoulda.
But yeah, so that's just a quick overview of Trailmater. I know you guys are kind of bummed that you don't see that we don't use it as much, but mini is so much quicker. Like this is a serious recovery rig, and most of the time you don't need all this. But we are planning on doing some changes. I'm not going to do a spoiler and tell you what we're going to do, but we're gonna change some things. I'm hoping it makes it better, but that's always what you do with this truck, is you try something and you hope it works, and here you go. But let's get the next one in and show you guys what that one is. So here's Old Blue. Old Blue is green. We know that. We are very well aware of that. So for a lot of people that don't know, Old Blue started as an old blue farm truck. It was blue and silver. I traded a piece of equipment for it, and it sat behind my shop for about a year before I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and found a wrecker bed and was like, hey, I should buy that, put it on that old Chevy. And so I did. I started fitting it. I started putting it together, and I didn't like the way the bed looks, because the cabin chassis for the tow truck bed is even with the body. So it doesn't, the rear axle, the dually rear axle is way narrower, and it just looked funny, and we were gonna have to build a whole new fender system and everything for the bed. And I just didn't like it, didn't want to do it. I didn't want to put a narrower rear axle on it, because that's the whole reason. Like, Trailmater's wider, it's more stable. So I set the boom, I took the boom off of the flatbed and set it in here, and was like, I really like the look of that, but there's too much bed overhang. I decided to cut the back of the bed in half and build these plates on our old plasma table, and built this whole tail section and threw it together, and I really love the way it looks. I really like it. It kept the dually fenders. It's tied in there like that. You can pick a rig up. It does have the traditional bumper sling. We have it outside. So this is more of an on-road tow truck with four-wheel drive capabilities. Like, we do use this quite a bit. It is kind of the heavier one. It is the heaviest rig we have. This one outweighs Trailmater by about 1,000 pounds when it's rigged out. So, and plus the pole sits more forward. It is a longer truck than Trailmater, so if you do need to pick and pull really hard, this truck does it better. We did the rock sliders on it. We tried to keep it looking like a Chevy truck. I was gonna put a rock slider into the cab,
Yeah.
but that wasn't gonna work with the bed and a bunch of that stuff. And so when Hector painted it, Hector at Howlin' Wolf, when he painted this truck, I told him not to do the door jambs where the rust was, and he cut them out.
Yeah.
And then, because he was going to replace them and I told him not to, so it's entirely on me. I told him not to because we were going to cut it out and put a rock slider in there, and then decided to go with these rock sliders. So once again, Hector tried to do better, and I squashed him. I was like, no,
it's fine.
let's halfway do this. So yeah, and then like I said, we had the truck, we got it from Hector. He asked if he could paint it. I let him paint it. He made it really pretty. He did a phenomenal job, but then I started ordering parts. I went through and got, what did we do? Pulled these seats out of the JK. We ordered a floor mat. Of course, it's covered in mud right now. We ordered a floor mat. We ordered a new shifter. We ordered a center console. We started ordering all LED lights for it. We ordered new grill surrounds. We put black rims on it. We put 35s on it. We started having some fun with it, and then we started having some real fun with it. See, standard Chevy. Gotta give her the whack. So this I also got from Hector. He had it sitting around his shop, and I was like, hey, what are you doing with that? So for the off-road games 2 years ago, we took this junkyard motor and like straight out of a junkyard in Denver. A guy picked it up for us. Thank you, Mike. He picked it up for us and brought it down to us, and like this is total couple $100 motor. And we bolted a 671 supercharger to it. And we were like, hey, we'll do this for the off-road games, and we'll just go down there and have fun and be ridiculous because we've got this supercharger blowing through the hood, and we'll just blow it up really quick, and you know, no harm, no foul, whatever, we'll have some fun with it. That was over 2 years ago, and it's still not dead. It just won't die. And every time I've gone to the off-road games or to Sand Hollow with it, I have tried to kill it.
It's probably because it has an air filter in it.
Well, yeah, that air filter in there has probably helped keep it alive. We really fancied this truck up because Hector made it too pretty. This does really good. We put a simple lift. It's got electric. We got Eaton E-lockers front and rear on this truck. Works phenomenal. Love those things. 410 gears, 35s. It's got the, like I said, supercharged 454, turbo 400, and it has the Off-Road Designs 203, 205 doubler behind that. So it has the dual transfer cases. So you have 2-to-1 or 4-to-1. So that's pretty handy. Gives you better lower gearing, keeps your automatic alive longer. I said longer, Mike.
I didn't say nothing.
He gave me the look. He looked. He looked. We don't want to talk about turbo 400s in this truck, because the transmission that's in this truck has cost me more money than the entire truck. You can't mount any of the accessories on here with a blower. Like, you can get a power steering pump, that's about it. You have to buy an entire drive system that's like $2 grand to run all of the stuff, and I wasn't going to spend that, so we kind of tinkered around and built this drive system just to get us by, to make it like, look, it's a functional tow truck. Yeah. It's still been going for 2 years, and it's still a functional welder. It's still a working tow truck.
So what he's saying, the power steering pump has like 2 ribs on the pulley there, one of which drives the alternator like as an accessory drive. It's complicated,
but it works.
But it works. It does work.
The power steering pump dies about every 4 months. Yeah, Dana 60, Dana 70, was a dually originally, all that stuff. We put the cowl induction hood on because Hector had painted this cowl induction hood. He did the pinstriping, he did everything, and I really love that hood. Somebody folded it in half, and so it's creased, and so you can't shut the hood, you can't use it. And so I just took it off, put it back up on the wall, and we put the exploded one back on. So now it's got the tore through design and all that, but this already has the stiffeners on it. So yeah, this is also fuel injected, has the MSD Atomic 2 on it, which is basically the Holley, the new Holley setup, because Holley owns MSD. This has got 4 winches on it. We got the boom winch, 3 winches. We have the boom winch, we have the lower winch, and we have the front winch. We didn't do side winches because this isn't going to be doing a lot of the crazy stuff that Trailmater does. Plus, it's got enough weight to hold itself down that the boom does pretty good. So it's an old mechanical Holmes 440. Works really good. Like, you can extend the pole out. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. It works really well.
Well, I know. What does it do at the drag strip?
Does 16.5.
The quarter mile.
Consistently. This is this is our fuel gauge. So see, full.
Yeah, so you remove the cap, you dip it.
Yeah, down here's empty.
And then
if you dip it and it's down here, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's less good.
All right.
See, watch.
You gotta give it the sanitary wipe.
Yeah, but like, look, like, I don't even have to start the truck.
Yeah, we can know right now. Oh, she's got,
look at that.
Solid 2/3,
yeah.
Maybe 3/4.
So see?
There you go, now you know.
There it is. This is kind of cool. This is Offroad Designs hangers.
So they custom
they make those hangers that put on there, And then Alcan built the springs to the weight of the truck. And then they custom made these overloads to work with the factory overload pads.
Yeah, so it's
Here. Look,
oh yeah,
look,
here we go.
Sean's
Here
got
we
a
go.
light.
Sean's got a light.
Yeah.
See, spring overload pad factory.
Yeah, so that's a factory overload pad. And then those brackets are built by Off-Road Design to kind of mimic what the 3/4 tons did. Because the 1-ton 2-wheel drives were lower.
Yeah.
And so then they just used a lift block.
Right.
And so what these do is they move that down so you can eliminate the lift block, but keep your 1-ton springs or whatever, and keep the height. But this has got custom-made Alcan springs, front and rear on this. They weighed the truck and built the springs to the weight of the truck. So this one also rides very, very well. And it doesn't have like any fancy shocks. It's just got regular off-the-shelf shocks on it.
Ooh, all right, here's a question. What do you run for tire pressure in this and Trailmater?
So pressure in this is around 25.
Okay.
I want to say 25 in this. And then Trailmater we run about 15.
Okay.
Front and rear, all the way. 15 works good on Trailmater because if you got a rig picked up, then you want to have a little more air pressure in the back. And then the 15 on the front keeps it steering good in the rocks and on the slick rock.
Okay.
So that's most of the reason I do that. Like we can run way lower. We have bead locks on Trailmater, so we could run down to like 10 PSI, but it just becomes very hard to steer on the slick rock.
Okay, so no bead locks on this one.
Yeah, no, this is just 16-inch black Alcoas, kind of. This one isn't a great trail rig. This one's more of a toy because it has the electric fans and it has cooling issues. Because you just, when you're out crawling around, those electric fans are just not moving enough air. For this, with the supercharged motor, all that, it just doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't like creeping real slow.
Yeah, it does not keep up. And so this is not a trail rig. This is. I'm trying to turn this slowly more into a toy because we've got Trailmater, we've got Mini, we've got all the rigs, the double XJ, all that. So this one's kind of becoming more of my fun truck. But me being me, I just can't have it not be a functional truck.
What else we got down here? Yeah, special cross member there. Crossover steering.
That's about it.
That's about it.
Stops.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
All right.
All right, on to the next one. Who could it be? It's Mini.
So, this is Mini-Mater. Everything about this Jeep was an accident. And I love everything about it. So, last year at the off-road games, we got invited to build a jalopy. So, we were like, it had to have coil springs, had to have 33-inch tires, and had to have like certain little aspects of it, right? So we were looking around the yard and we were like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? We had a Cherokee that we were gonna cut up, but then we'd have to coil the rear. Then we do this, then we do that. Then what if we went and bought something? Then. And we just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then we're like, hey, we have this Jeep Wrangler in the yard.
It was a 4-door.
It was a 4-door that we kept having issues with the rear axle. The gears were failing constantly. We had a bunch of electrical gremlins. We had all this stuff. It was just frustrating me, and we just walked away from it. And I was like, hey, what if we did this, you know? And it was like, all right, cool, let's do this, but what if we made it look like a tow truck? So we were like, man, we could just put a boom in the back and make it look kind of cool and have it look like a tow truck and this and that. And it was just kind of that whole concept, and then it snowballed into, well, you know, if we're gonna build it, I don't want to build something just a one-off for a thing, because it's a waste of our time and it's a waste of money to just be like, oh, here, let's just build this thing. And I'm also aware of me and how overboard I go with everything. So it's like, well, if we're gonna do that, let's make it a useful tow truck. Like this could go get side-by-sides and stuff. Like, so let's build that. So we started tinkering with it, and we had a couple ideas. We were kind of thinking about doing 4-door, like leaving the 4 doors. And just when I was measuring it out and everything, it just wasn't gonna get me what I wanted for the layout of the back to have the area and the storage and everything. Then that turned into, well, let's just cut it in half. And we cut this thing in half. We cut the body out, and these rock sliders are built into the body.
Yep.
And then we tie that, and like this whole roll cage is the body now. And then we built seals around here that seal the door. Like we built this bar to match the door. Doesn't seal great, but it seals pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It is really well. And then we set this bar, like we cut this into the windshield frame. We kind of made it all ties in, and then this is all like very Trailmater-esque, where we've got this that ties into the upper part of the cage right here, so that when you've got a lot of weight right here, and it transfers the entire load over the whole truck.
Right.
Instead of just being on this right here. We did do this pole non-movable, but it does slide in and out, which actually works better than Trailmaters for like sliding this all the way in and having the trailer and a 4-seat RZR on here. You have way more room.
Yeah, when you go through a dip, it doesn't try and put the pole into the whatever you're towing.
Yeah, it works very well. And this one has 4 winches.
See, we got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.
And this is kind of our experimental winch that we did. We did the 8274 here with kinetic rope on it.
So it's got 10 feet of kinetic rope.
20 feet of kinetic rope.
Okay.
And then it's got 75 feet of 7/16 winch line, and they're braided together. It's very much a hybrid, but now we can tow with this, and it works really well. Really, really well. I really want to build another one.
And so I'm sure people are saying, why you're not supposed to tow off of a winch. So how are we getting away with that?
So the kinetic rope takes a lot of the strain out of it. So you're not jerking, because that hard pull, like if you're pulling with a winch and you hit the end of the slack and you hit that's what shock loads a winch. That's what takes the winch out. By having this in here, and we actually learned it with this setup. So this lower winch we would have the 10-foot strap hook to, and we'd use that to pay in and out as we were pulling somebody, and it never damaged the winch. And it was like, you know, it's kind of good. And plus this has an external brake setup here that's supposed to be the better design of most of them. So this is working phenomenal. It does have a little hindrance of mud piling up on it and everything, but like we've got this set up to where it comes out right even right there. And we've got a really nice table. We've got all this stackable. The Milwaukee pack outs are awesome on how they stack in, and you can just, we've got a cooler, we've got this, we've got that. Works really well. We've got our Badlands off-road jack up there. This is running all Badlands winches except for the old worn 8274 right there. And then this is our oil storage. We've got engine oil, transmission fluid, brake fluid, and coolant all in there. And most of it is still in the jugs.
Yeah.
And then of course, like I said, we've got our Premier Power Welder here. We've got it mounted back here, and then we've got this is our welding pack out right here. This has our welding leads in it, has our welding rod, has our welding mask, has chipping hammer, has all our stuff. And then this has all of our power tools. So we've got a way better power tool selection and every type of selection for tools on Mini than we do on Trailmater. Like Trailmater has all the tools, but it also has a corded grinder that you've got to fire up the welder and turn it on to use that grinder for a cutoff wheel or anything. Whereas this has all the Harbor Freight cordless tools, the Hercules tools. Awesome. And good old hose reel. Good old hose reel, as always. Of course, this has an Atlas in it. Has a 5-to-1 Atlas, so stupid low geared.
What gears are in this?
This has got 488s, because we were always breaking the 538s.
And then this is a JL Dana 44.
JL 44 rear axle, and then this is a JK front axle, but it's a Terraflex housing, so it's an aftermarket housing. We have the factory electric locker in the rear, and then we have a 35 spline ARB air locker in the front of this that leaks constantly and drives me insane, and I can't wait until Eaton releases their new 35 spline e-locker, because it's going right in here as soon as we can. I hate this locker. Hate this locker. So this has hydro assist steering.
Oh yeah, and RCVs, don't forget that.
It's got the RCV axles in it, which, like I said, I think the RCVs on a Dana 44, I think that's what keeps your ball joints and your steering knuckle alive should you break one. Should you break one? Yes, they're expensive. I understand they're expensive. They're very expensive. Do you know how expensive it is to get towed off of the trail when your wheel's missing? It's pretty expensive. Like I said, those, when they break, there's nothing to bind up on each other. Like, that's the big failure with the U-joint, is the U-joint breaks and then the two knuckles, or the two yokes, bind up, and then it'll press the ball joints out of the JLs. Like, it presses the ball joints right out of the housing, or it breaks them, or it breaks the knuckle off. We've seen a lot of ball joints break on these. We actually have JK steering knuckles and JL steering knuckles just sitting in the Connex for trail repairs for that reason. This has got a Metal Cloak 4.5-inch Game Changer lift on it. True dual rate coils on it. I think they ride amazing. I really like them. It's run the Metal Cloak Rock Sport shocks forever, and I had zero complaints with those. And then we went to these Bilstein 8100s, and these are just phenomenal. These are designed for the JKs. They're actually valved specifically and position sensitive. Like, they're designed to be on this rig right here.
They work so good.
Yeah, right out of the box. We haven't even adjusted any of these. Like, it has the rebound and the compression adjusters. We haven't changed those at all. Like, this is right out of the box, right on here, and they work amazing. I'm really happy with them. 3.8 liter minivan motor. And I think a lot of people like, don't like these. They say they're gutless and they don't have the power that the newer, the 360 and all that stuff. I really think it's the transmission. I really think it's the automatic.
Okay. Because, like I said, the standards, I know a lot of people that run the 3.8s with the standard and do really well. Yeah, it is fairly, doesn't have a lot of low-end grunt.
Right, but that's where the 5-to-1 in the Atlas and the gears help.
Right, you just got to hold it a little, like a two-stroke.
Yeah, but it's got, like I said, we've got the alternator on here that runs the welder. We've got our Code 4 LED switch panel right here. We've got our PSC remote reservoir here for our steering. So, like I said, this was just this was kind of a, it was supposed to be a quick project to just be like, oh, here, look, we're gonna build this for the fun of it and for the off-road games. And then it turned into, like, seriously, this is the most used rig we have. Like, the AC works, the electric windows work, you can seal the cab, you can run through the mud, the snow, the whatever, tire chains fit it. Like, it just works. It works really well. It's got the dual beadlocks Hutchisons on it. So yeah, it does really, really well. Run them.
Yeah, the AC works.
Yeah, with the AC and the heater, we really don't run the half doors. It's, yeah, we're kind of spoiled. Speaking of spoiled, right here we have the double XJ. This is a 1996 Jeep Cherokee. We recovered this off Gold Bar Rim. Had a broken steering box, a couple other issues. Anyway, we went and got this, hauled it down. And then I was talking to the guy and I was like, what do you want for it? And I had a couple ideas. So we had used the LJ for a couple bike recoveries. One, we used it because it had back seat, so we pulled the trailer. The LJ was bought as my personal vehicle because I really wanted that. So I didn't really want it to come into the fleet and become a recovery rig. So it was working, it was doing all right, but then it was like, we need something a little different, especially when we put the rack in the back of the LJ. Once we did that, where we could hold a bike in the back, we were kind of like, man, this is better than the trailer. This is way better, this is nicer. So then this was sitting in the yard, and he was like, hey, if you know anybody who wants to buy it, I'm willing to sell it. And I was like, and I kind of stared at it and had an idea. And originally, we were gonna leave it a Cherokee, and we were gonna cut the back out and the roof up to right here to the seats and make it just fit 2 bikes in the back. But it was gonna be really tight to fit 2 bikes. They were gonna be stacked on each other, and it would just be a 2-seater still. And that is our biggest issue, is if we go get 2 bikes, we need to be able to put 2 riders in the vehicle and haul them out. We cut the back off right behind where the seats go. Actually, I think what I used was where the seat belts mount. I went just past where the seat belts mount and cut it off. I was loving it in the comments section again with how much this has to weigh, because this walkway grating is heavy, and it is. But for some reason, this rig isn't really heavy. I'm guessing it's probably around 6,200 pounds, fully rigged out, ready to go. But anyway, it had the rock sliders on here, so we extended those rock sliders out, and then we cut the unibody and extended the unibody with frame rails out. So it's still a unibody, because, well, anytime you weld the roll cage completely to the body, it becomes a unibody. We had some issues with the transmission and heating, because XJs always have issues with that. So we ended up venting the hood. That's getting a lot out. I'd like to lower this down, but we got to find the pieces to do that. I had a set of axles in the yard that were actually going to go into the LJ. I really wanted to put them in the LJ, but I like the LJ the way it is. I really like how it does and works and everything. And so I was like, well, I really don't want to change it. So we had these 1-ton axles, so we put them in. So they're TerraFlex 60s. They're the CRD 60s with the rotated center diff.
They got the high pinion.
Yeah, high pinion front and rear.
Very fancy.
And then we had to cut a bunch of the truss and stuff off the rear, because we went to leaf springs instead of coil springs in the rear. We had Alcan build us some custom leaves. So this rig is very stable. It got a lot better after we put the sway bar on the front. This thing feels really good. It is long. It is 154 inches of awesome. But it actually is pretty nimble. I mean, the only thing you have to worry about is the drive line occasionally. But it's got a lot of clearance underneath it. Like, that is very tall.
She's tall.
We did the Barnes long arm 3-link on the front. That got rid of those short, stubby little arms that come on these.
Got some custom fenders.
Yeah, Mike just did some custom fenders on here. So we're keeping the mud off of the doors and the windows for when we drive. The funny thing that I see in the comments the most about this vehicle is that we need another ramp because of how much we struggle getting to step. I don't see it. Like, the winch is holding the bike, so it's really easy to just step up here and, like, you're not trying to push the bike up and then scramble up and hold the e-brake or hold the front brake. Like, it's really easy. Like, one person can do it with the winch controller and just go on and step up.
Yeah, it's not what it
it's really not that bad. And it's really nice, but like, another ramp is, you have to have another ramp to, and we've already moved this thing 4 or 5 different times trying to find somewhere to put it where it's not in the way. Like, we have another giant ramp, but that would be an even bigger hassle. We got the trans cooler back here to keep it completely away from all the heat.
Got the factory gas tank tucked in there.
Yeah,
I got some tools.
We got the tools here. We turned that pack out into fluid storage. We've got all our fluids in there. And then we've got, these are the old wheel wells, which are now strap holders.
That gives you an idea how much longer it got.
Yeah, 5.5 feet. And then right here, this is this rear seat out of the LJ. So you can grab this and it folds forward. And so then we've got our air compressor for airing up tires and also our front locker. And then we've got our straps, air hoses and stuff like that behind the seat. This is the only XJ in the world with rear leg room.
Yeah, it's got, when you're sitting in there, it's comfy. You got a lot of room there. It's nice.
Like Sean knows, his Cherokee, like the seats stick out past here. So, yeah, if you've got somebody in the back, you got to scoot the front seat all the way forward to where everyone's uncomfortable. All our lighting throughout here.
Yeah, Code 4 LED supply. They hooked us up with a bunch of lights on this.
This also has PSC hydro assist steering on it. So that and aluminum, all aluminum drag link and tie rod. Got multiple tie down points. And then all this walkway grating works as is tie down. This thing is dialed. I'm super excited about it. The wheel's really good. It drives great. We've got the bump steer fixed in that now with the track bar bracket changes that we did. She's dialed. She's good to go.
All right.
This is my buggy. This is the OG recovery rig. Like way back, long ago, many moons, way before Trailmater, way before all that. This has had a welder on it its entire life, even when it was a Jeep. I can't really explain what this buggy means to me. I built this in my garage when my ex-wife decided to leave me. And I was like, hey, I can either go back to the bar, drink, like I always do, or I could build what I've always wanted to build, from scratch buggy. Not adding on to a Jeep, not doing this, not doing that, not just, I was gonna build it from the ground up. And so I did. I did this. I did the original build in 3 months. From steel on a trailer with my Jeep parked here in my old shop to this. And we built it. I built it up and used the drivetrain. I got that axle at a swap meet, and this is the axle that was in the buggy. I knew what I had in the Jeep, what I liked, and what I wanted to change about the frame heights and the stuff and the things and the geometry for the suspension, because the old Jeep worked horrible. Didn't work horrible, just didn't work right. And so anyway, I went through and I built this whole thing, and honestly, it's the same rig as when I built it. Like the axle is the same, the suspension geometry is the same, the brackets haven't changed. We've upgraded the links to better links. We've changed the rod ends to bigger rod ends so that they'd quit breaking, we'd quit having issues. Upgraded the drive lines. Same gears from when I built it. The same welded diffs. The same coil springs. From the floor, actually from the firewall down is the same. The center console, the floors, all this is identical. It's the same stuff, but we updated the cage because I don't have kids anymore riding in the back. I wanted to see if I could build something from absolute scratch. And because I built a couple Jeeps, but it was always adding on. And you can make them do really well, but like from scratch, like here, I'm gonna design the suspension, the angles, the everything. And so I did. And I based the suspension links off of where the transfer case is. So this uses like 0 slip yoke, like very little. Because my link mounts all go up and mount at where my driveline yokes are. So I don't know if that plays a factor in anything. I have no idea. I don't know about suspension geometry and anything, but I got it on this one.
It works good.
Yeah,
Real good.
Works really good. So it was really funny because for the first few years, I had to learn how to drive the car as well as it could do. You know what I mean? Like the car was way more capable than I was. This is the original hood off of the old Jeep that I built. That is a 4-liter straight 6. Best motor ever made. Yeah, 4 liters of Fury. It's got a PSE full hydro on this one. It has a converted York air compressor that if I would change the rings would work really well.
Ah, the most important part doesn't work. Flip a switch. Push a button. There it is.
There it is. This is old school tech, you know? There's a time when that was like,
aww. Reel it back in. Man, I think it's some range.
Reel it back to where it works. Man, it was working.
We saw it. There it is.
So like,
good Lord. You can go all the way around your car and back.
oh yeah. See? This is when car manufacturers made cool stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a flashlight.
Yeah.
With a cord.
They just didn't have a magnet. If they would have been thinking.
No, because you just leave it there.
Yeah, this is the 90s. They didn't have magnets.
That's why they still had all their lights.
Right. This has got 32RH, which is the newer version of basically the 727. So it's the newer version of that.
That's the transmission?
Yeah, the transmission. So it's got the 4-liter 32RH transmission, and then it has a 4-speed Atlas.
Okay.
So basically that's a doubler and the Atlas transfer case. So you have dual transfer cases. So it has a 272-to-1 in the front and a 3.8 in the rear, which if you run both of them works out to around a 10.5-to-1 low range, and it is very dumb low. It's very, very, very slow. And then it's got Dana 60, Dana 70, 410 gears, and like I said, they're still the original gears. I mean, as much as we've been trying to kill those rear ones.
Yeah, it's missing 2 teeth right now.
Yeah,
and it just keeps going.
When all the cap bolts backed out, and we sheared off the tops of a couple. It still works. It's still going. So I'm impressed.
I'm really impressed.
Yeah. But,
oh, we just recently updated the interior.
Yeah, we've got some fluffy bits in there.
Yeah, it's nice. It's insulated and squishy.
And this has got the MTX audio stereo in it. And then we've got our ammo can that has all our welding supplies, our welding mask, all that stuff. We've got our welding leads here. We've got a spare drive line that we had custom made that will actually fit front or rear on this. It'll fit either end.
All right.
And we've got a rear suck down winch, our MTX audio amplifier, and our light bar, chase light.
Oh, you gotta show them the green lights.
We have underglow.
Underglow. Look at that! It's pretty cool. It works really good.
So like throughout the years, we've changed some things. Like we've had to add these braces down here. It just kind of help tie everything in. I probably should have had those when I flipped the car, and it wouldn't have been as bad. But like always, Premier Power Welder. This is a regulator for it. It's usually mounted on the box, but because we set this in and countersunk it in the dash, we had to move this over. I've seen some comments about, what's that thing on the dash?
Oh, yes.
See? So it is a work truck. That is about it for in here. we would have to go outside to show the rest of the rigs because everything else is broke and the other one doesn't fit in here really well. We have the recovery trailer. Heck, in high school, this was our dirt bike hauler.
Okay.
I think it was my welding trailer for a while. I had my SA 200 sitting on here for a while. And it kind of sat around in the backyard for a while. And then I was like, man, I really need a trailer to like go get these side-by-sides. And I was like, oh, I have a trailer. And so we dug this out and slowly started modifying this. It's got solid suspension. There are no leaf springs. There are no moving parts. A lot of people in the comments and a lot of people approach me and say that, you know, you need to do this, or if you tried this suspension setup or this and that and that and this. Yet we go out and go get a lot of broken overland trailers with this trailer to then bring back
Right.
to the paved road to then get fixed. So like I said, it just works. And then over here, ta-da! This is a 1992 F Super Duty, which is the first year of like their actual 450. It has a 7.3 IDI non-turbo diesel. It has absolutely no power. No. It's disappointingly slow. But it starts and runs every time, so that's great. I think it's gonna do exactly what we need it to do. We need it to go get rental cars off of potash. And maybe if we can get it to go a little bit better down the road and stuff, someday it'll run up to like Bears Ears or LaSalle Pass and that kind of stuff. But it has an actual traditional rollback bed, so we can drop this down and just drag a car straight onto it instead of having to go up the ramps and onto the bed of the trailer. That's where it gets that's where this kind of shines in that aspect. But there's a lot of places this isn't going to be able to go, which in turn brings us to what's behind you.
The one we don't talk about.
So we call this truck Big D because it's a big disappointment. And it has done nothing but live up to that name. So this is also a 92 F Super Duty. It's the 450, so they have the 10 lug rims. Both have Dana 80s in the rear. This has a Dana 70. That has a drop axle, two-wheel drive. So this right here, it has a 460. And what happened here is we put new parts in it and it rejected them, like an organ transplant that didn't go well. There's two different types of distributor gears. There's a brass and a steel. And if you put the wrong one in, it destroys stuff. Which, like, whatever.
Yeah, it happened.
But anyway, so what it did was it took out the camshaft. But not only did it take out the camshaft, it put metal shavings through the entire motor, like as it destroyed that. So I don't think it's a simple throw a camshaft in it. I think this motor is just done. So what I would like to do, this is what I want to do. I want to pull this front axle out and I want to put it in that truck, but I don't want it to sit this high. We're going to talk with Alcan and get some custom springs made to put this axle in that truck with maybe like a 3-inch lift.
Okay.
And then we're gonna put the rear, we're gonna re-arch the rear springs or build some new springs to set it level so it sits about 3 inches higher, not huge, same size tires. I just want it to sit a little taller, so now all our tow chain or all our tire chains will fit that truck. And then we can take that up onto LaSalle Pass if we have an issue, or, you know, stuff like that. Like that would have worked really good for where we did this with that Expedition that slid off the road. Like we could have used that to pull that Expedition up on the road, put it on there, and then drive it out. Like to have the 4-wheel drive and the tire chains, that would be really handy. We'll probably pull this front bumper off and put it on there. And then we have a couple different transfer case options that we're gonna look at on what we'll do. But this isn't anything we're gonna do right away. Like, that truck will work just fine right now. Over time, I would like to pull all this stuff off and swap onto there. That leaves us with this bed being available to go onto a truck. This truck right here. This truck means a lot to me. This is my stepdad's truck. He bought this with 12,000 miles on it in '02. And it right now is sitting at 596,000 miles. So what I would like to do is I would like to take this and cut the frame, build a new frame rail out the back, and set that bed on this truck. So then we have a Cummins. We're gonna pull the 6-speed standard out of this truck, put in here. So then we will have a diesel with a big pole. That's my thought.
All right.
These projects are very down the road. The yellow rollback, its immediate future is to go be not yellow.
All right.
There's the recovery fleet, and there's a rundown. So there we are. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it.